Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question that could change your life today. What if the only moment you truly needed to handle was this one? Life often feels overwhelming because we try to live it all at once. We attempt to solve every problem, secure our future, heal our past, and meet every expectation in a single moment. But life was never meant to be carried that way. You were not designed to hold the weight of an entire lifetime on your shoulders in one day. When you think about everything at once, the mind becomes tired, the heart becomes heavy, and even simple tasks begin to feel impossible. The pressure does not come from today, it comes from trying to live tomorrow and yesterday at the same time. The truth is, you can only live one moment at a time, and that is not a weakness, it is wisdom. A day has its own limits for a reason. It has enough hours for its own challenges and enough light for its own responsibilities. When you stay with today, you gain clarity. When you jump ahead mentally, you create confusion. Most of the fear people feel has not happened yet, and most of the pain they carry no longer exists except in memory. Both steal the beauty of the present moment. Life unfolds like steps on a staircase. You do not leap to the top. You rise by placing one foot in front of the other. When you focus only on the next step, the journey becomes possible. When you stare at the entire staircase, you become afraid to move. This is why peace comes when you return to now. In this moment, you are breathing. In this moment, you are alive. In this moment, you are capable. The present moment is not small, it is powerful. Every great change you will ever make begins in one small decision, taken right now. You do not become strong by imagining years of struggle. You become strong by choosing courage today. You do not build confidence by planning a perfect future. You build it by showing up fully in this moment. Life rewards focus, not panic. When you give your attention to the hour you are in, you discover that you actually have enough strength to face it. Tomorrow will come with its own energy and answers. Yesterday no longer needs your worry. All that is required of you is to live wisely where your feet are planted. When you understand that life only asks for today, you stop rushing and start living. You stop surviving and begin appreciating. And suddenly, what once felt too heavy becomes light enough to carry. When we think about the struggles of life, we often imagine a long road filled with problems that have not even appeared yet. The mind runs ahead, creating scenes of failure, loss, and disappointment before any of them become real. In doing so, we drain ourselves emotionally and mentally long before we ever need to. Today already requires energy, patience, and focus, and when you add tomorrow's worries and yesterday's regrets to it, you overload your heart. The simple truth is that this day, this moment, is already enough to handle. You were built with the strength to get through today, not the entire future in one attempt. When you wake up in the morning feeling tired without doing anything physical, it is usually not your body that is exhausted, it is your thoughts. Carrying invisible burdens from the past and imagined fears about the future can weigh more than any physical load. The present moment, however, is lighter than you think. Even your biggest problem becomes manageable when you see it in terms of hours and steps instead of years and outcomes. Peace begins when you stop asking, "How will I survive my whole life?" and start asking, "What can I handle right now?" Each day has a design of its own. It brings what it needs with it, just as each season carries its own weather. Winter comes with cold, but also with the strength to endure it. Summer brings heat, but also the ability to grow within it. In the same way, every day arrives with its own challenges and also the inner tools to meet them. You may not see today as special or powerful, but it holds more than you realize. Within this single day is the opportunity to choose again, to act differently, to think more gently, and to move forward even if the step is small. You do not need to solve your entire life story today. You only need to be faithful to this chapter. When you give everything you have to this moment, tomorrow begins to take care of itself naturally. Anxiety fades not when life becomes perfect, but when you understand that perfection is not required for peace. Rest comes when you stop trying to live in timelines that do not exist. The most meaningful victories are not rushed. They are built through steady days lived with intention. When you accept that today is enough, you find freedom in simplicity and strength in focus, and life becomes something you walk through instead of something that overwhelms you. Worry has a strange way of disguising itself as responsibility, as if constantly thinking about problems will somehow protect you from them. But in reality, worry does not prevent difficulties or prepare you for pain. It quietly steals your energy, your focus, and your peace while giving you nothing in return. The mind becomes busy imagining situations that may never happen, and in doing so, it forgets to notice what is happening right now. The body can be sitting still, yet the heart feels exhausted, not from work, but from the endless weight of mental fear. Worry drains strength by turning future possibilities into present burdens. You start solving problems that do not exist yet, and carrying pain that has not arrived. This constant tension keeps you in survival mode, even when there is no immediate threat. It tightens your thoughts, shortens your breathing, and narrows your vision until you can only see what might go wrong. The moment you step out of worry, you realize how heavy it truly was. Peace does not come from controlling every outcome, but from trusting yourself to handle whatever comes. Strength is not measured by how much you can fear, but by how well you can remain calm in uncertainty. When worry enters, joy leaves quietly. You stop enjoying small moments, simple conversations, and quiet victories because your attention is always pulled toward what could fail next. Life loses color when everything is viewed through fear. This is how worry weakens you without making a sound. It steals sleep at night, motivation in the morning, and clarity during the day. You become physically present but emotionally drained, trying to fight battles in your head that were never meant to be fought there. The truth is, problems need solutions, not fear. Fear never improves a situation, it only magnifies it. Calmness creates space for better thinking, clearer decisions, and wiser actions. A peaceful mind sees options. A worried mind sees only danger. When you release worry, you do not become careless. You become strong in a different way. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop predicting failure and begin allowing possibility. There is enormous strength in learning to pause, breathe, and remind yourself that you are capable of facing the unseen. Life has brought you through difficulties before, and it will guide you again. You have survived days you once thought would destroy you. That alone is proof of your inner power. Worry tells you that you are weak, but experience tells you otherwise. You grow stronger each time you refuse to carry what does not belong to today, and you discover that peace is not absence of trouble, but presence of faith. Many people give up too soon because they expect change to happen quickly, as if growth were supposed to arrive overnight. When it does not, they assume something is wrong with them. But real progress rarely makes noise, and transformation does not come with flashing signs. It comes quietly, patiently, often so subtly that you hardly notice it until one day you realize you are no longer the person you used to be. Healing does not rush and growth does not run. They move slowly and with purpose. Just like a seed does not become a tree in a week, you cannot expect your life to change in a moment. The process itself is part of the strength you are building. Every small effort matters, even the ones that feel useless. Every attempt that did not work still taught you something. Every setback reshaped your thinking. This is how maturity forms, not in success alone, but in the struggle to continue when success is not visible. People admire results but rarely see the patience behind them. They celebrate victories without witnessing the effort, the doubt, the frustration, and the long nights of not knowing if it would ever get better. What looks like sudden change from the outside is usually the outcome of countless unseen choices made daily. Progress is not a straight line, it bends. Sometimes it falls backward before it moves forward again. Sometimes you grow emotionally before you grow externally. Sometimes the biggest change is inside, in how you see the world, even when nothing around you seems different. This kind of growth is just as powerful, even if it cannot be measured. Comparing your journey to others creates unnecessary pressure. Each person walks a different road with a different timeline. Your delay may be your development. What feels slow to you may be preparing you for something you are not yet ready to receive. A rushed life often breaks. A steady life builds. When you expect instant results, you risk quitting too early. You begin to doubt the process because it is quiet. But silence does not mean stagnation. Roots grow unseen before branches appear. Foundation is laid before walls rise. If you only value what you can see, you will miss what is shaping you internally. Persistence carries power. Showing up even when nothing seems to be happening is an act of courage. Choosing patience over pressure allows growth to unfold naturally and deeply. One meaningful step today is more powerful than 100 imagined tomorrows. And with every small effort you invest, you are quietly becoming someone stronger than yesterday. Many people measure their lives against invisible deadlines, believing that by a certain age they should have achieved certain things, owned more, known more, or become someone society applauds. This mindset creates the painful illusion that everyone else is ahead and you are somehow falling behind. But life is not a race, and there is no universal clock that measures success for every human being. Each person arrives at their destination through a different route, at a different pace, and under different conditions. Comparing your journey to someone else's is like comparing the sunrise to the sunset. Both are beautiful, but they happen at different times. When you believe you are behind, you begin to rush decisions, accept less than you deserve, and chase goals that may not even be right for you. Pressure replaces purpose, and anxiety replaces clarity. You start building a life based on fear of being late rather than the joy of becoming aligned. But the truth is, what you think is delay may actually be protection. You may be learning lessons now that will save you from pain later. You may be developing strength, patience, or awareness that you are not even conscious of yet. Some people rise early and fall just as fast, while others build slowly and stand unshakable. Neither journey is superior, but both are necessary. You grow differently because your life requires different tools. Your experiences are shaping you in ways you may not appreciate until they make sense later. Feeling behind comes from looking outward instead of inward. When you turn your attention back to your own path, you realize that every step you have taken has been preparing you for the next one. Life does not waste days. Every moment contributes to the person you are becoming. If something did not work out when you wanted it to, it does not mean you failed. It means the timing was not yours to control. There is power in arriving when you are truly ready, not just when you are desperate. Some doors look like delays only because you cannot see what they are protecting you from. What they are really doing is redirecting you towards something more suitable. When you understand this, you stop calling your journey slow and start calling it intentional. You begin to trust that you are exactly where you need to be in order to grow into who you are meant to become. And when your moment comes, you will realize it arrived not late, but perfectly on time. Many people spend their lives chasing an idea of perfection that does not exist, believing that they must first fix every flaw, remove every weakness, and reach a flawless version of themselves before they are worthy of peace or happiness. This pursuit becomes exhausting because perfection is a moving target that can never truly be reached. No matter how much you improve, the standard keeps shifting, leaving you feeling incomplete. In trying to be perfect, you delay living. You postpone joy for a future version of yourself that may never arrive. Presence, however, asks for none of that. It does not demand that you be flawless, only that you be real, aware, and awake to your life as it is right now. When you drop the need to be perfect, you gain something far more powerful, freedom. You stop judging yourself harshly and start understanding yourself deeply. Mistakes no longer define you, they teach you. Imperfections no longer disqualify you, they humanize you. By being present, you allow yourself to experience life fully rather than measure whether you are doing it correctly. You begin to notice small things that once escaped you, the quiet strength in your breath, the warmth of simple moments, the beauty hidden in ordinary days. Perfection keeps you in your head. Presence brings you back to your heart. When you are present, you listen better, love more freely, and respond more thoughtfully. You stop rushing through conversations and start connecting to them. You stop criticizing life and begin participating in it. Anxiety loses its grip when your attention returns to now, because fear needs the future to survive. Regret fades when you root yourself in today, because the past no longer has the power to control this moment. Presence does not eliminate your problems, but it gives you clarity to face them. A distracted mind overreacts. A present mind understands. You make better choices not because you are perfect, but because you are attentive. Life becomes lighter when you stop demanding perfection from yourself and others. You allow people to be who they are instead of who you think they should be. You give yourself permission to grow naturally instead of forcing change through shame. Real peace does not come from understanding everything. It comes from accepting what is. In that acceptance, there is space to heal, room to breathe, and energy to move forward. Being present is the most honest way to live, because it lets you meet life exactly where it is, without pretending, without performing, and without waiting to become someone else. The past is powerful not because it controls you, but because you allow it to live in your mind as though it still has authority over you. Many people replay old mistakes, painful conversations, lost opportunities, and moments of regret as if they were happening again and again in real time. This habit quietly turns memory into a prison. Instead of learning from what happened, you punish yourself with it. But the past was never meant to be your home. It was meant to be your classroom. Every experience you've had, whether joyful or painful, came to teach you something about yourself, about others, or about life. When you refuse to let go, it is not the event that hurts you anymore. It is your attachment to it. The pain continues long after the moment has passed because you keep reopening the wound through thought. Healing does not mean forgetting what happened. It means remembering without bleeding. It means allowing the memory to exist without letting it define who you are today. You are not the same person you were when that mistake was made or when that pain occurred. You have grown, you have changed, and you have survived. To continue judging yourself by an old version of you is deeply unfair. Growth cannot happen in a heart that refuses to release yesterday. Holding on to shame, anger, or guilt locks your future behind emotional bars. You begin to limit what you believe is possible because of something that no longer exists except in thought. But today is not yesterday repeated. It is a new page, and each day you wake up, life quietly says, try again. The moment you shift from blaming yourself to understanding yourself, a door opens. Compassion replaces criticism. Learning replaces regret. Strength replaces self-punishment. The past becomes lighter when you treat it as a teacher instead of a judge. There is freedom in choosing to extract the lesson and release the pain. You keep what made you wiser and let go of what made you weaker. You do not deny what happened, but you refuse to be defined by it. And when you finally accept that your future should not serve a sentence for a crime your past committed, you begin to live differently. You walk forward without chains in your mind. You breathe without guilt in your lungs. You act without yesterday whispering that you are not enough. Letting go does not change the past, but it changes you, and that is where true healing begins. Every day that begins with the rising sun is an unspoken gift, a reminder that life continues to offer new beginnings regardless of yesterday's failures or tomorrow's uncertainties. Too often, people take mornings for granted, rushing through them without realizing the immense potential contained in each new day. Each sunrise brings a chance to correct mistakes, to approach situations differently, and to choose a better path. It offers an opportunity to forgive not just others, but also yourself. Every day is a chance to release burdens that have been weighing on your heart and to step forward with renewed courage. Some mornings arrive quietly, almost unnoticed, yet even in their subtlety they hold power. They remind you that the past cannot be rewritten, but the present can always be shaped. The very act of waking up and being present in this moment is proof of resilience. Every day provides a fresh start, a blank canvas where you can paint differently than you did yesterday. Life is not a continuous repetition. It is a series of chances to improve, to love more fully, and to act with intention. When you embrace each day as a gift, you stop seeing life as a series of problems and begin seeing it as a series of opportunities. You realize that even small efforts, kind words, patient actions, mindful decisions, can create significant change over time. The concept of a new day also teaches hope. No matter how dark yesterday was, the sun rises again, showing that the world does not stop, and neither should you. Each day carries its own energy and rhythm, offering lessons, challenges, and blessings that are unique to it. By acknowledging the power of today, you release the fear of the future and the regret of the past. You give yourself permission to act with clarity and purpose, knowing that what matters most is the moment you are living in. Every choice, every step, every act of courage compounds over time. The accumulation of days lived with awareness shapes a life that is meaningful, resilient, and authentic. When you recognize that every sunrise brings a new chance, you stop postponing dreams, stop waiting for perfect conditions, and begin creating change now. Each day, no matter how ordinary it seems, carries within it the potential for transformation, growth, and renewal. The simple act of noticing this gift is itself a step toward living fully, and as you embrace each day with intention, you realize that life continually offers a chance to rise, to improve, and to move forward. Big changes in life often feel overwhelming because we focus on the final result instead of the small steps required to reach it. Many people look at a distant goal, a dream, a career milestone, a relationship, or personal transformation, and imagine that unless everything happens at once, they are failing. This perspective overlooks the profound power of incremental effort. Life is rarely transformed in a single dramatic moment. Instead, it is shaped quietly, steadily, one choice at a time. Each day you show up, each small action you take, and each moment you remain committed contributes to a foundation that grows stronger over time. Consider a river carving a canyon. It does not happen in a day, but through consistent flow, persistent energy, and unrelenting movement. The same principle applies to personal growth. Tiny steps, repeated consistently, eventually lead to extraordinary results. You may feel discouraged when progress seems invisible, but the process is happening beneath the surface. Just as roots grow unseen before a tree rises, your efforts are laying the groundwork for the life you desire. It is easy to underestimate what a single day of courage, patience, or discipline can accomplish. But each one compounds, creating momentum that carries you forward. Celebrating small victories is crucial because they remind you that you are moving in the right direction, even if the final outcome is far away. Life is built by stacking these days, these choices, and these actions on top of one another. Without realizing it, you are creating a structure strong enough to withstand challenges, setbacks, and unexpected changes. The fear of not achieving everything at once often paralyzes people into inaction, but taking one deliberate step today changes everything. It builds confidence, reinforces commitment, and demonstrates to yourself that you are capable. Even when results are not immediate, the discipline, patience, and resilience cultivated through consistent effort become the real victories. Success is not a single moment to be reached. It is the accumulation of intentions acted upon over time. Understanding this shifts your focus from fear to empowerment, from frustration to action. When you embrace the idea that meaningful progress is built one day at a time, you free yourself from the pressure of instant results. You begin to trust the process, respect your pace, and honor the journey, knowing that the life you envision is created step by step, day by day, through persistent effort, small wins, and consistent choices. Hope is not something that exists only in the future. It begins in the choices you make right now, in the moment you decide to believe that better is possible. Many people wait for circumstances to change or for the perfect opportunity to arrive before they allow themselves to hope. But hope is not dependent on external conditions. It is a state of mind, a conscious decision to trust in the possibility of goodness, growth, and progress even when the path ahead is uncertain. Choosing hope today is an act of courage because it requires looking beyond fear, doubt, and disappointment that may have accumulated over years. It is a declaration that you are willing to engage with life fully, even when the outcome is not guaranteed. When you embrace hope, you begin to see options that were previously hidden. You notice solutions where before there were only problems. You recognize opportunities where others see obstacles. Hope shifts perception, and perception shapes action. A hopeful heart moves forward even when the steps are small, because it trusts that each action matters. It does not wait for perfection or certainty, but acts in alignment with its belief that positive change is possible. The power of hope also transforms resilience. Challenges are inevitable, but with hope, they become temporary rather than defining. A hopeful person endures setbacks without losing faith, learns from failures without despairing, and persists in ways that despair never allows. Hope energizes creativity, deepens compassion, and strengthens determination, because it roots every choice in possibility rather than limitation. Importantly, hope is contagious. When you choose to hope, you inspire those around you. Your optimism and faith in a better tomorrow ripple outward, affecting family, friends, colleagues, and even strangers. It creates a current of possibility that encourages others to rise, act, and believe in themselves. Each moment you choose hope, you reaffirm that life is not fixed, that the future is not predetermined, and that your actions today have the power to shape outcomes in ways you may not yet see. Hope transforms ordinary moments into opportunities for growth, and ordinary challenges into lessons in perseverance. It allows you to move with purpose rather than drift in fear, to act with courage rather than retreat in doubt, and to live with intention rather than simply react to circumstance. The simple choice to believe that good is possible, to trust in your own strength, and to keep moving forward in spite of uncertainty, is the seed from which all transformation grows, and from which the life you desire begins to unfold.